Hello, everybody. Of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking Ish with your boy X.
And Ish.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, go ahead and hit us with a like. And as well, if you are on YouTube and you are checking us out there, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button. And as well, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can be notified for shows like this one in the future.
Ding.
Thank you for that, Ish. And as well, if
Yes,
you are on
sir.
Twitter, go ahead and check us out at X Talking Ish on Periscope. And you can also check us out on my personal page, X underscore Williams AT1. I'm going to go ahead and retweet that right now so we can make sure we get everybody tuned into these conference championship game preview that we have here going on X Talking Ish now. Ish, if things go hopefully the way that we would want them to go for these games, the way that the hype coming into both of these games are, the way that the storylines are developing, and the legacies, quote unquote, already for just these young four quarterbacks that are left in these playoffs. It's almost like we're kind of there already in the changing of the guard. No more Brady, no more Manning, no more Roethlisberger, no more Philip Rivers.
And
It is
Rogers.
it is Aaron Rodgers, right? It's a new day, and could these four be the beginning of the next wave of these quarterbacks that are trying to forever be enshrined in football and immortality and becomes getting a Super Bowl. Now, of course, we know the old wily vet out here, Patrick Mahomes, has him one, and you have three other quarterbacks that have an opportunity to try to add to their resume as being a Super Bowl champion. But before we get into these games, let me know how you're feeling about just the hype, the the social media trash talk surrounding both of these games and these teams and whatnot. Again, just to build up. Tell me how you're feeling about these two games coming into Sunday.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think these are two of the most anticipated matchups of the season. Just when you think about it, who would the Eagles have played well the entire season, really. And the 49ers, their defense has been top defense all year. They've been playing really well on the back half of the season. And so, I mean, I think this is the matchup that if you could pick at the beginning of the playoffs, like who do you want to see in the championship game? I think people would pick this game. This is probably one of those games, unless you're a delusional Cowboys fan, then of course you would have picked the Cowboys. But I think this is the matchup people wanted to see. And then on the other side, of course, everybody wanted to see this rematch. I mean, we calling it Burrowhead Stadium and everything now. It's personal on the Chiefs side, and for the Bengals, I think they really want to go out there and revenge last year where they lost in the Super Bowl. They feel like they should have won that, and they on the back half of the season. I can't argue with them, really, if I'm going to be honest, that they have been a team on a mission and they have been possessed. So I definitely was excited about this matchup. If I'm being honest, the Chiefs fan in me is really nervous and anxious about this matchup because it's a lot on the line for the Chiefs today. Pride is on the line.
Not just pride. Let's be honest. Is also dynasties, legacies. Right? That's a part of this so-called Chiefs organization that has been going on over the last 5 years, but Patrick Mahomes being QB1, and it seems as though that there will be a lot to talk about depending on how this game comes out. If Mahomes not able to get back to a Super Bowl due to Joe Burrow, is Joe Burrow somebody that is actually on Mahomes level, and can Joe Burrow get him one? And there's be a lot of talks between now it isn't just Patrick Mahomes in the field. There's Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and then we'll go on from there and have that conversation. So it's a lot to talk about depending on how these games play out. So if we're gonna get right into it, start off with the first game, of course, NFC Championship game that starts off in about another 50 minutes from now. We have the 49ers come into Philadelphia, take on Ish's Eagles, Eagles. Ish. I'll start off with you. Now, if you've tuned in to XtalknIsh all season long and you tuned in before the season started, we have a gentleman here right on this show that picked the Philadelphia Eagles not to just make it to the NFC Championship game, but also make it to the Super Bowl. Not just make it, but also win the Super Bowl. So I'm intrigued what Ish has to say about this game, Ish.
I mean, if you've been watching all season, you know before the season, like X said, I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl. As the season has gone on, I felt really good about that pick. I've been excited. Then Jalen Hurts got hurt. There were some things going on the defensive side that I got a little worried about. I wasn't too sure. And then last week they came out and they put a spanking on the Giants. Problem with that is everybody knows the Giants all season haven't played well against the NFC East. We all expected that spanking to happen. So it didn't really excite me. And I think that's my biggest concern today. I don't know how healthy Jalen Hurts is. He wasn't really tested last week. I don't really know if this defense is ready for this multiple attack that the 49ers are going to bring. This is a different 49ers team. This offense is different. Kyle Shanahan is coming in. You got to know he's going to have a game plan ready to go to attack this defense on multiple levels. And then on the defensive side, DeMeco Ryans by far, he's being touted as, one of the top coaching candidates for a reason because he has made the right adjustments all season. The defense has been ready to play all season. And there's only been a few times where they've looked like a team that probably couldn't win the Super Bowl, if I'm being honest. But I still got to go with the Eagles, Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles, baby, because I picked the Eagles from the very beginning. I think they're going to find a way to win this game. I think that they're going to put pressure on Purdy, and this is going to be his most difficult game yet. Last week, we saw that he struggled a little bit through three quarters. He was able to find a way to make it happen. I think that a lot of that had to do with the cast around him. But I think today, this Eagles defense, they're going to find a way. On the road for Brock Purdy. This is on the road. It's the biggest game of his life so far. There's a lot of pressure. And, hey, if there's one thing in the Eagles' favor this year, even with the 49ers looking as good as they have looked all season, they are only 5-3 on the road this season against their home record where they're 8-1. Mm-hmm. So if there's a place you want to play them, you want to play them at home because on the road, they're not doing it. They're a different team on the road. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are going to be ready. They're going to have a big game. And Jalen Hurts, obviously, through the air, I think that's going to be the biggest difference there. Through the air, he has got to hit targets. When the defense gives him an open guy, he's got to hit it. Take everything that they give to you and just grind it out as they've grinded out all season.
Now, honestly, I loved everything that you stated, and everything that you stated is completely true. And it's really difficult to have a rebuttal to that. But in reality, it's really not, because what the Eagles have going for them is that they are the number one offense. They are the number one scoring offense in the NFL, and they've played well, of course, with a healthy Jalen Hurts. Without Jalen Hurts there in the backfield, their offense struggles a little bit, and I'm being generous. Now, that's not saying that Jalen Hurts won't be there all four quarters, but I'll start it off with this. My concern, and as you can see, I picked the 49ers to win this game. My concern with the Philadelphia Eagles is because we've seen this in the regular season, and even though it was later on in the season where some of them games might have not have mattered, it does matter on how you look. And I'm talking about Gardner Minshew. My worry and my concern with the Philadelphia Eagles is what happens if Jalen Hurts gets hurt, correct? And Gardner Minshew has to come in and try to lead the team. I don't know if Gardner Minshew can do that. We've seen it in Kansas City. We've seen it in Kansas City where Patrick Mahomes go down and Chad Henne can come in and replace him and be able to lead not just drives, but also maybe even lead the rest of the game and win the game for their team. Can Gardner Minshew do that for you if you are the Philadelphia Eagles? One thing about the Eagles, they play, and there's nothing wrong with this, it's just how they play, but they play emotionally on both sides of the ball. So if things happen in a good way for the Eagles, it creates that snowball of an emotional effect to where it starts trickulating to both sides of the football field. Right now, what I can see happening, and this is why I picked the Niners, is what happens if they're not able to get a turnover they're not able to get a third down stop that they're supposed to, right? And then the 49ers lead down the field and continue a drive they probably shouldn't have, and they either put up 3 points or score a touchdown. What happens if they're on offense and A.J. Brown drops an easy first down conversion and they're looking at each other, and then also the Philadelphia crowd gets into it? All of a sudden, Philadelphia is his own worst enemy. That's my worry, and that's my concern about the Eagles, and not just the Eagles, honestly, all Philadelphia teams, because it seems as though that's really what happens with them more so than just them being not good. It just seems as though sometimes they have everything set in place for them, and they find a way to not finish the job. The Eagles have been to multiple conference championship games over the last 23 years. I'm just stating over the last century, right? They've been to, I want to say now, 9 conference championship games.
Yeah, I believe so.
9, and they've only won one Super Bowl, right? So there's no guarantee that just because you get here, you're going to finish the job. So that's my concern with the Eagles is their defense good enough to keep them in this game to where they can create turnovers and they can get these third down stops that can give the ball back to Jalen Hurts and give this offense an opportunity to win this game? Because if the 49ers just play sound football, I just think the 49ers, you don't do anything special. I wish Fracture Wano was on right now, because I wish he would say what we was talking about last week when it comes to Kyle Shanahan. Don't do nothing pretty. Go in there, play some sound football. Don't turn the football over. And you could honestly win this game just by doing that, because the Eagles will find a way to self-implode and will lose this game just because of their own lack of emotion, lack of discipline.
Well, I think one of the things that you said,
that's what I see it as. In my bad. What's up?
No, I was just gonna say one of the things that you said that I definitely have to say goes in San Francisco's favor is they're the number 1 team in the league on turnover difference. With 13 plus, they're 13 plus on turnover difference. The Eagles are 3rd at 8 plus, but either way, definitely
it's really gonna come down who's gonna win turnover battle.
Who wins the turnover battle.
And I know this sounds cliche. It sounds boring. It sounds like you didn't do your homework X or any of that stuff. No, it really just comes down to these 2 teams are the best team in the NFC, like by far. Okay,
by far.
So it really just comes down to who's going to play your best football today.
Yep.
Eagles, you have the advantage, obviously, because you're at home. You got the 49ers coming over across the country to come play out. There are no excuses, Eagles, right? That's just how I see it. But the 49ers are rolling. I mean, they are playing amazing football, and Brock Purdy's not just taking over and doing as well as the previous quarterback, but he's playing actually even better if you look at the numbers. And that's what's scary about this team as a whole. And here's the crazier thing about the 49ers. I can use the same example for the 49ers. What happens if Brock Purdy gets hurt, right? Okay, they go to Jimmy G. That's not a fall off, right? The 49ers can still. That's what I'm saying is look. What I'm saying is you bringing in a guy that's been there, done that.
He's been there.
He can come there and fill in and finish the game for 2 quarters, unlike Gardner Minshew.
Hey, I'm not coming on Gardner. Chill on Gardner, bro.
That's fine. Gardner Minshew had 2 games. Gardner Minshew had 2 games to prove himself and multiple drives to come out there and to relax Eagle Nation to say that I got this, and he didn't do that. That's my point.
Yeah, he definitely didn't do that, but it's different when it's one game. It's one game.
And look at that, inactive. Apparently I'm wrong. So my bad.
Go.
No Jimmy G. My apologies. Thank you, Lee, on that. Thank you. So let's get to the comment section. Dominique Powell says, "What's up, fellas? Yeah, I'm thinking San Francisco. They just got too many offensive weapons. I want to see Hurts win, though. Both defenses are good, but I believe the San Francisco offense is better. And I feel the same way. Like I really want to see the Eagles and the Hurts. Eagles and Hurts go to a Super Bowl and even win one. I mean, as a Titan fan, I'm not spiteful that the Eagles have AJ Brown. I want AJ Brown to be successful. I want him to show the Titans organization how stupid they are for letting him go. I wish nothing but success for AJ Brown. Please go out there and be great with the Eagles. But I just feel like the 49ers are just that damn good right now to where the only way that they stop themselves is this themselves stop themselves. See what I'm saying? That's the only way the Eagles, that's the only way. That's the only way the 49ers lose this game. My opinion. Greg says Eagles have more weapons than the 49ers. No. Honestly, I think it's debatable. I think really it just all depends on how you look at these weapons and how you want to classify them as whatever you want to classify them as and how you want to use them. I mean, I think it's pretty even, honestly.
I don't think they have more weapons. I think that the 49ers, when they win that battle, when you talk about weapons, not because they have more weapons, but because of the way Kyle Shanahan utilizes them on the field, right? So Christian McCaffrey not only being in the backfield, but going in the slot, going out wide, the quick screens, same with Debo, Ayuk, all of them. Like he moves them around so much and they're so versatile that I think AJ Brown and Devontae, they're wide receivers. They're just wide receivers.
I was going to say, look, I love AJ, but the problem with AJ is not consistent catching the football. So that is what unfortunately doesn't make him as big as a threat as he should. Debo has catching issues as well too. So I'm not going to leave Debo out like he doesn't have catching. But again, another problem for Devontae is that he's just too damn small. He's not as physically opposing, or he's just not somebody that I'm worried about like a Kittle. I'm taking Kittle over Dallas Goedert. I'm sorry. I mean, Dallas Goedert is nice, but Kittle is that dude, and Debo can do more things than just play wide receiver. And Brandon Ayuk, same thing with Ayuk. You can do more things with the football than just play wide receiver. Lee also says that all pro Eagles offensive line going to have to show why they are all Pro Bowlers and are pro. 1,000,000% agree there. That goes on the offensive coordinator and, of course, head coach when it comes to making sure that this offense is able to scheme for this upcoming game and getting everybody involved in the first two drives and not just out here playing stagnant, just playing this sit back and just toss the ball around type of football, because that's not what's going to get this game won in that type of way. You're going to have to get all of these offensive linemen noses into the trenches and smacking people around so everybody can literally feel like they're a part of this game and trying to win this game for Eagle Nation. Let's get to Greg. He also says Eagles have weapons that are slept on like Quez Watkins, but I agree with Ish, though. Good point. 49 utilizes the weapons more. Ish?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the difference. Like, it's not that the Eagles don't have weapons. It's just that we don't know what Kyle Shanahan's going to do. Like you said, we're hoping he comes out and he keeps it somewhat simple, right? Because sometimes that's how they hurt themselves. They try to do too much of the tricks and special plays and all that. But, I mean, if they come out, they keep it somewhat simple, but they move these guys around, make this defense have to think, make them have to adjust on the fly. That could be their way of winning this game, right? That's the difference, I think, between this 49er offense and why a lot of people want to take the 49ers over the Eagles. The Eagles, I mean, it's pretty much, they are what you see, right? They're going to come out, they're going to line up, they're going to run their offense. 49ers, I feel like they got different sets for whatever you're showing, whatever you're doing well, they will adjust to that. And then Kyle Shanahan will, utilize his weapons the best way to attack what he's seen you do well. So that is going to be the big difference in the game. I think that's what we're going to have to watch. This Eagles defense, are they going to be able to adjust to some of these motions, to some of these alignments that we're going to see? Are they going to get pressure on Brock Purdy? Because without pressure, that is the problem. You can't have Christian McCaffrey running free with a linebacker on him in the slot.
Mismatch.
Like, this can't happen. It can't happen. So you're going to have to get pressure if you're the Eagles front seven. And for the 49ers, it's the same thing, right? Like, they got to get pressure because we want to see whether or not Jalen Hurts is healthy. because we don't know that for a fact. Yes, he played well last week, but let's be honest, the Giants did not pressure him at all.
Well said, Darius. Well said. Let's go ahead and finish her up today with the AFC Championship game. As you can see, we only have 2 games today, so this will be a short show. And we will, of course, follow up with you guys on Tuesday and recap these conference championship games, and, of course, preview a little bit of the Super Bowl AFC Championship game. It'll be right after the NFC Championship game. Bengals take on the Chiefs, and we are running back the AFC Championship game of last year, where the Bengals surprised the world and beat the Chiefs and was able to make it to a Super Bowl. Now, let's just be honest, Ish, after that game, if you were to say that the Bengals and the Chiefs were the running back again next year in the conference championship game, most people would believe that the Chiefs would be back before the Bengals. Because a lot of people felt as though that last year's run was kind of fluky, and they just had a momentum run going on. Well, they're having another momentum run, but it seems as though that this one is a lot more legit than last season. And even though the Bengals are on the road, they are actually coming into this game as road favorite, depending on what sports book you're looking at. I've seen sports books where the Chiefs are favorites, so. Again, it's depending on what sports book you're looking at. Let's just say this is more of a pick'ems than it ever has been before. And this game, again, if both of these games can live up to the hype, both of these games should be pretty damn good. And with this game, I'll start it off first, Ish, and I'll throw it over to you. This could maybe be the start of what everybody wanted to see, maybe Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I mean, everybody keeps on trying to put a quarterback to match up with Patrick Mahomes, and it seems as though everybody that you keep pushing up there just keeps falling off, from the Justin Herberts to the Josh Allen to, whoever, Baker Mayfield, whoever else you want to throw out there. It seems as though maybe the Dragon Slayer that has always been the Dragon Slayer could be Joe Burrow. And this is dating back to, of course, his time back in college, where it seems as though a lot of people just keep on not giving him the benefit of the doubt, not believing in him, or giving him a chip on the shoulder so he can go out there and play his best. Whatever it is, he keeps finding ways to go out there and get it done when people out there are doubting him the most. Now, Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be the guy that I'm assuming is supposed to be carrying the torch of the NFL for the next 10 plus years because of the contract, because of how he can just go out there and throw the football, because of his likability, because of whatever it is. It seems as though that a lot of people feel as though that, and because of the accolades and because of what he's been able to do on the football field as well too, that he is the next one. And he's been living up to it for the most part, with this being his 5th conference championship game, but only having 1 Super Bowl in the resume at the moment. With Joe Burrow going to now 2 conference championship games in back-to-back years, making a Super Bowl appearance and could make a second-ish. And I'm not going to give my pick just yet. I'll wait until you give yours, and I'll go ahead and give everybody our picks. Ish, going into this game, especially with Patrick Mahomes coming up with this high ankle sprain, what are your thoughts? I mean, this is not, I guess, what you can say, a normal opponent that we look at the Chiefs, not Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going into this game. We feel as though that they could beat anybody, right? I mean, no matter if it's a divisional opponent, no matter if it's the AFC, NFC, you're going to beat that team. The Bengals, for whatever reason, are giving y'all a little bit of pain, whatever nagging pain in the butt. Been able to beat y'all the last 3 times last season. Now going into this game with a hobbled, quote-unquote, hobbled Patrick Mahomes. He's been able to practice this past week. He's been able to put weight on his ankle, so he should be good to go. But it is a high ankle sprain where he will feel the effects. Ish, give me a breakdown of this game, please. I would love to hear what you have to say on this.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest headline that everybody's looking at right now is Patrick Mahomes. How healthy is that ankle? Is he going to be able to move around? Because we have seen in the past when these two teams have played, that the Bengals have been able to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and a lot of the success that the Chiefs have had on the offensive side has been when he's moved out of the pocket, able to move around, extend the play, and then find a way to get the ball to Kelsey or one of these wide receivers. And I think that's going to be the testament right there. Is he healthy enough to move around and extend plays when pressure comes? Because you got to believe that if I'm the Bengals and I know you got this high ankle sprain, I'm going to test it out. I want to come at you, and I'm going to force you to get the ball out quick and get it to these guys and make them beat us. Because let's be honest, outside of Travis Kelsey, there are some solid guys there, but there aren't any world beaters like you had before. This team the offense has changed this season as more of I would say a conventional style offense, in the sense of they spread the ball around. They've got a superstar in Travis Kelsey. McKinnon has been able to move around and do some things, definitely. But it's going to be interesting. The run game as well. Are they going to be able to establish that run game with Pacheco to take some of the pressure off Patrick Mahomes? We're looking at that. But on the other side of the ball, I mean, Cincinnati had a hobbled offensive line as well. And it didn't seem to be a problem against the Buffalo Bills. But you got to think with Frank Clark, Jones, Dunlap, Karlaftis, you got to think that this Kansas City defensive line, they have to be out there ready to make a statement, ready to test themselves against this offensive line and put this offensive line to the test and, get pressure on Joe Burrow. How much pressure can they get on Joe Burrow to help this young secondary on the back end who have played well as the season have gone along, but they are still young at the end of the day. So that is definitely something to be worried about. I think, just to go ahead and give you my pick, I think we've already covered it. This is a very important game. It's an important game for legacy. It's an important game for momentum. It's an important game for pride. And when you look at it, you got to think to yourself, with the Bengals winning the last 3 games, all of them by 3 points, it's by no means a game where you say the Bengals have their number because they're spanking them, but the Bengals have their number because they find a way to win the game. They keep it close enough to win the game. They find a way to slow Patrick Mahomes and that offense down enough to just hang around and then pull it out in the end. I think just based off of everything that we've seen as far as the interviews, people talking, the chatter, my man Eli Apple, the troll that he is, I think that the Chiefs are determined more than ever that this is the matchup that they wanted and that they have a point to prove. I think Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, this coaching staff has a point to prove. I think they've seen it. They've heard it all. And I think that they're going to come out and they're going to try to make a statement. And they are going to want to make a statement early. The last time I said this about the Chiefs, if you recall, even though it didn't matter at the end of the season because the Buccaneers ended up winning the Super Bowl when they got the rematch. But the last time I said this, if you recall, was when the Chiefs were playing Tom Brady and all the talk was about the kid and the GOAT, who's going to be the guy. And the Kansas City Chiefs came out and they lit them up in the first quarter. And I expect to see something similar. I expect them to come out gunning to make it a shootout early, because I think they feel like if we can gun it out early, that they aren't going to hang around. I think the reason why the Bengals have hung around is because they've stalled out. They haven't finished the job. And this time it's personal. This time they're going to finish the job. Chiefs are going to find a way to win this game, and they're going to move on to the Super Bowl and hope to get Patrick Mahomes a chance to win his second.
It's funny. I don't want to be that guy, but it's funny you say that. It's not like the Bengals have the Chiefs number. If you actually go look at the overall record between the Chiefs and the Bengals do have the Chiefs number and the overall
18,
record.
14. Okay, 14. I got you. Yeah.
I'm just saying. So you want to be technically they do have your number. Let me get to the comment section right quick. Greg asks, is Kelsey a game time decision? It looks like
he is, but he said
our helpful panels definitely helped out Greg, letting him know that yes, he is going to play. Kelsey, just like everybody else in the NFL, are playing through injuries, and that it is what it is. Greg just pretty much said, I just didn't realize he was hurt. Yep. Look, I feel like, if you ain't hurt in some type of way this late in the season, you ain't playing football.
You ain't playing. You've been on the bench.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and put the picks out there. At the moment, I have the Bengals coming into. I'll be respectful at the moment. I'll say Arrowhead until Joe Burrow is able to do it. Look, it's easy to do something one time, right? It's easy and nice to be able to do things one time. But if you go out there and do it twice, then people start taking it a little more seriously. Now, if you Joe Burrow and you go out there and you put on a nice little clinic, then maybe we can start calling it Burrowhead. But for right now, just do the trolling and just do the talking shit right now in the playoffs. You know, the Bengals sideline is going to call it Burrowhead. But respectfully, Arrowhead has earned and has since Patrick Mahomes has gotten there. Since Patrick Mahomes has gotten there, y'all have changed y'all's playoff livelihood. Before Patrick Mahomes, we know how y'all used to look in the playoffs, so let's not get started on that. So chill. Ever since Patrick Mahomes been there, y'all been looking real different. Y'all been looking like that girl that go off to college after high school. You like, whoa. She come back, she's like, oh, you brand new. Yeah, I'm brand new now. I went to college. I grew up. Yeah, that's
funny.
That's going on right now. So with that being said, Ish, he has his faithful Chiefs. Not surprising at all, but Ish, I'll let you, of course, explain why you have your Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's personal. It's very personal for the Chiefs this time. I think they are coming out to make a statement. They have to. It can't be one of those where we just kind of keep them close, and then we kick a field goal at the end and we win. Like, nah, I don't think that's satisfying for anybody. I don't think anybody in Kansas City would feel satisfied with that.
Shit, I think Lee would be satisfied.
Nah,
Lee just trying to get to the Super
Bowl.
Lee
would be happy to win, but I think everybody, with all the talk that's been going on with the Burrowhead Stadium thing, it's personal. It has to be a statement, and I would expect Andy Reid to come out here and make a statement.
All right, we shall see. I'll get what's it called? I'll get
Vic Fangio.
He says Vic Fangio is now at DC. That's major. Sorry for interruption. And of course, as always, we have the residential troll. As always, I'm gonna go ahead and block him up out of there because again, he's being a troll on there. But anyways, as always, like I said, this game, if it lives up to the hype, man, it can be it can be as good as the Chiefs and Bills matchup just a couple of years ago as well.
For sure.
And hopefully we won't have any rule changes that will come out like the last couple of AFC conference championship games. Yeah. Fresh Walnut with the trolling says Burrowhead is going to be lit today. And other than that, I don't really have too much to say. I'm about to go ahead and plop on the couch soon, finish watching these pregame shows from everybody else.
Yep.
And get ready for the game. And as always, for everybody tuning in, we appreciate y'all. We will see y'all on Tuesday to recap the games. Greg says, what's the spread? Kansas City is favored by 2 at the moment for Kansas City, and the Eagles are favored by 3, Greg. Thank you for asking. I'll make sure I have that for y'all on
that's an interesting pick.
Tuesday recap. But other than that, we appreciate y'all as always for tuning in. XtalknIsh. We will see y'all on Tuesday.